Today I'll explain Emancipation, a movie based on a real-life story of a slave's experience in the 18th century. Hopefully you enjoy the video. In January 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issued a proclamation that all black people who were enslaved should be freed, but in one place in Louisiana, there were still more than 300,000 slaves who were forced to do various kinds of work, and the owner named was John. Among these slaves was a slave named Peter. One day when Peter was spending time at home with his family, then two men came and asked Peter to go with them. Peter refuses to go, because he doesn't want to leave his family. But the two men were so bad, they started beating Peter and pointed a gun at Peter's wife and said, "If you don't go with us, then I will kill your wife." Even if Peter don't wanted to go, he was forced to go with them. Then the two men took Peter along a forest road to another place, and it took them 2 weeks to reach there. There were many black slaves and all of them were working on the railway line. Many of the people here became very sick while working. Now Peter has to work with them too. While working here, Peter learns that the slaves here are tortured a lot. A slave tells Peter that a man named Jim, he is the chief and all the slaves work for him. If the slaves don't listen to him, Jim kills them after he has brutally tortured them. The slaves in this place are pushed to work so hard that they are unable to stand up straight at the end of the shift. At night, everyone is kept in one place with their hands and feet tied. Everyone started crying in pain. Peter asks everyone, "Don't you remember your family?" They said, "There is no way. Even if we remember them, we will never be free from here. One day we have to die here." But Peter believes in God. He believes that one day they will be freed and reunited with their families. The next day, while Peter was working, he heard two guards were saying that Abraham Lincoln ordered all slaves to be freed, and very soon everyone will be released. Then a guard saw that the servant who made the bread today had not cooked the bread well, so he got angry and started beating him. Peter doesn't like this. He glares at the guard angrily. The guard sees Peter and tells Peter to go to him, and when he is about to kill Peter, Jim stops him from killing him. At night, when Peter is with his companions, then Jim arrives. He tells Peter, "I am your God and you are my dog. You are still alive for me." Peter said, "Then I should eat the food that your dogs eat." Then we learn that Peter and the rest of the slaves were fed worse food than Jim's dogs. Following day, when Peter is going to work, Jim scares Peter with his dog, but Jim lets him go without harming him. At lunch, Peter tells his companions that Abraham Lincoln has ordered all slaves to be freed, and all the slaves are going to Russia. It will take us 5 days to get there. Although the road is very bad, but if we can reach there somehow, then the army will help us. Hearing this, some of the slaves decided to escape with Peter. After lunch they go back to work. And then a slave dies while working, and Peter is asked to take the dead man's body to another place. When Peter goes there with the dead man's body, one of the guards tries to kill Peter, but before he can do anything, Peter attacks them and escapes. At this opportunity some others try to escape, but most were killed by the guards. Eventually only 3 slaves escaped with Peter. They fled through the forest and reached the edge of a lake. There were some huge and terrifying crocodiles in the lake. Jim's men chase after them, taking Jim's dog with them. Peter and his companions have no choice but to jump into the crocodile-infested lake. Peter and his 2 companions went down into the lake, but one of the companions was frightened by the crocodile and stood there instead of going down into the lake. Then Jim's dog came from behind and attacked him. After that, Jim comes in and kills him. Peter and his 2 remaining companions somehow cross the dreaded lake. They then decide that the 3 of them will go in 3 directions so that Jim doesn't catch them all together. Peter runs to a house, and he stole a cloth from there and tied it to his injured leg. But then a little girl of that house saw him and started ringing the house's calling bell. Jim was also near the house. He heard the bell and came there. Peter again ran away for his life and once again hid in a lake full of crocodiles. Then Jim comes to the edge of the lake and he notices that there are many crocodiles in the water of the lake. So he thought that Peter would never get into the water of this lake full of crocodiles, so he left. After Jim leaves, Peter is about to get out of the water. Then suddenly a crocodile attacks him from behind and pulls him back under the water. Peter also attacks the crocodile and eventually kills the crocodile, and he survives, but he is badly injured. Somehow he spent that night in the forest. The next day, Peter smeared mud all over his body, because he knew that Jim and his dogs are still looking for him, and if he smears his body with mud so Jim's dog won't be able to find him by smelling his body. Then he moved forward because he wants to go back to his family. After a while, Peter saw a tent built on top of a tree with branches. Reaching there, he lit a fire and warmed his knife, and the hot knife applied wound to the injured area, so that there is no infection. A small boat was also kept there. Peter started moving forward with the boat. He also takes some honey to eat from a beehive from a tree. On the other hand, Peter's wife is shown. A man approaches her and tells her, Peter's previous owner has sold him to another man, he will never come back, and now you have to go to another place to work with us or we will kill your son. Peter's wife is scared and agrees to go with the man. The man says, I will come to pick you up very soon. On the other hand, Peter is shown, he leaving the boat and resuming his journey on foot, and then he saw one of his companions. He is also on the run from Jim and his menacing dogs. Now they both want to save their lives. That time they hear Jim's dog barking. They realize the dogs will soon catch up with them. Peter finds an onion on the road. He tells his partner, we should apply it to our body, but his partner refuses to do so, but Peter stuck the onion to his body. Then they started running away from there. They know, the dogs will get to them. They saw a place and hid there. Peter's companion hides in a tree, but Jim's dog can smell his body and know he is up in the tree. Jim asks him to come down, but he says, I don't want to be your slave anymore, so he disagrees to come down. Then, Jim kills him. Jim wants to find Peter any way he can, but Peter has onions all over his body, so Jim's dog can't smell him and find him. After Jim and his men leave, Peter emerges from the trunk and starts moving forward again. After wandering through the forest, he again reached the house from where he had stolen the clothes. Peter finds that the house has been set on fire. When he goes inside the house, he finds some food. A child was also seen there. Maybe this kid worked in this house. Then a man came from behind and pointed a gun at Peter. The child that Peter brought out of the house, he dies. Then Peter gets into a fight with the Jim's guy, takes his gun and kills him and runs away. Jim's dog was still chasing him, so he killed the dog too. And after running all night long from that place, he found many people lying on the ground injured. There were gunshots coming from all around. Peter realizes there is a war going on. Then Jim arrived on horseback and he was about to kill Peter, but then, someone shot him from behind and killed Jim. Actually, there was a group of army. They took Peter a camp where many wounded men were. All here were army men. Here Peter is treated. When Peter is fully recovered, he is taken to an officer. Peter tells the officer his whole story, how he was tortured, how he was sent from one place to another to work on railway lines. Then the officer told him, there was a war going on to give freedom to black people and I want you to work for us too. Peter joins the army on the captain's words, because he has no other choice. If this war is not won, they will not be free. Here Peter also finds his companion who ran away with him. He was injured. Peter is overjoyed to see his partner alive. After a few days, some people came there. Peter was told, you tell them how the slaves were treated. Peter shows off his shirt. Really, this scene was so horrible. They beat him with whips and made his back like this. These men took a picture of Peter's back, so that by showing this picture to the whole world it can be understood that how much torture is done on these slaves. Then Peter went to war with Abraham Lincoln's army to free the black people who were still enslaved and tortured day and night. They all fought bravely and freed all the slaves. Peter then went to where his family was. He is very happy to see his family again and he thanked God. He always had faith in God. He always got courage because of his faith in God. Because of that courage, he got his family back again. So this was the full story of the movie Emancipation, which is based on a true story of the 18th century, and released in 2022. Hope you liked today's video. If you really like it, please like and comment and share the video with your friends. As of today, stay well everyone. Thank you so much.